Well, hello, my fellow engineers. Welcome to the show. I'm here with WackyModder.
What's
So,
good?
man, I got to tell you what grinds my gears before we start this Fukuda thing.
What's that?
So, I did a poll. I don't know if you've seen it, but I did a poll about the Salamence and the Musai.
Mm-hmm.
For those, I'll go ahead and pull it up. So, I'll pull up a poll. 55% says they'll pick the Salamence, and 45% picks the Musai. So, what about you, Wacky?
That's surprising, honestly. Yeah, I'm on Team Musai 100%. If you're picking up if you're going up against a Salamis, then yeah, a Musai is definitely the way to go. Like if it was a Magellan class, on the other hand, then I would immediately go Magellan class all the way. But against a Salamis, nah, Musai 100%.
Yeah, I'm a Musai guy myself. Especially like a moose. I don't know. I consider a Musai kind of like a light carrier. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
no, the Musai is it's a light cruiser,
yeah,
but it's definitely got more firepower than a Salamis. Though, to be fair, the origin version of the Salamis is better. That the origin Salamis has a lot more firepower to it.
well, yeah, it has like anti-air and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's got like added missiles and all that on the sides, and some of them also have added boosters on the back as well.
Yeah, I kind of see the Musai as like if okay, or no, what? I take it back. So the Salamence, if you look at a Salamence, like if you wanted like a well-rounded, all kinds of gun ship, I think that's it. But you don't have any like mobile suits. Obviously, can't carry carry unless like you either put them in like a little storage hangar or you stack them up on top. But I don't know, man. A Musai, I mean, the guns are more powerful. I believe because they're more powerful, you get more range out of them. You get mobile suits. Just keep a couple of them, like, with your ship as anti-air, and just send out the rest.
Yeah, that's true. Although there have been instances where Salamis have carried a few like smaller mobile suits like balls on the front of them,
Mm-hmm.
but not really too much other than that.
Yeah. Well, for those who are watching, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, we would highly appreciate it. It doesn't mean a whole lot, but it means a lot to me. Actually, to all of us on the team. And also comment. Let's get us like in through this algorithm. I can't talk. It's because I haven't much of my coffee. I think it's the barely Irish cream kicking in. Yep. So yeah, go ahead and guys comment. Let's speak this algorithm. Let's get us in the front recommended page. Get us there. But all right, we're going to go ahead and get to the meat potatoes. We're not going to really talk about anything extra. I just wanted to bring up the Musai Salamence up because like what Gajira fan says, Musai gang rise up. Represent.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with this Fukuda interview right here.
Sure. Yeah, we were on page 2 out of 3 last time before Dad Life kicked in.
Oh yeah, Dad Life always kicking me.
But it's worth it.
Oh, it's so worth it. All right. For those who can't really see on the screen, I do apologize if you guys are listening on Spotify. Like I said last time, I will read what it says, and then me and Wacky will give our little commentary on it.
Yep.
All right. So we're on page 2. Now we didn't start on any of page 2, right?
We were just about to, and then we had to stop.
Okay. All right. So it says here that oh, you know what, Wacky, I apologize. I did not share my screen with you.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. That way you can follow along. Okay, so it says here that are there any scenes that have left a lasting impression on you? Well, okay, so Fukuda responds, the scene in Phase 4 where the submarine takes a course from Heliopolis to Artemis was not a space battle, but a very well done submarine battle.
Yeah, that's a weird way of
that
putting
is
it.
a weird way. Because these are space colonies. So what does he mean by submarine?
Yeah, I think unless he was talking about the way the ships were fighting each other, I guess maybe. If you want to get into some serious semantics right there, then maybe that.
I don't
That's it.
know.
That's the only thing I can think of. That's a very strange way of putting it. But then again, this is Fukuda we're talking about.
Yeah. But Marita says,
I
"Oh, go ahead."
remember there was, but I remember there's one particular part on this page that really pissed me off.
Oh shit.
We'll get to that in a bit. Just let's keep going.
Okay. So Marita says, "Silent Run." That one left a strong impression on me too.
Yeah,
Silent Run.
that's the name of the episode. I think that was episode 4.
Okay. Artemis is that the Alliance Fortress in it. The
Yeah,
impenetrable. Yeah.
that's the one that that's the one with like the umbrella shield, which more or less was the first ever rendition of the lightwave barrier, which eventually spawned Armor Lumiere and also the energy shields in Sea Destiny.
Okay. And also mobile suits like the Hyperion.
Yeah, well, the Hyperion Gundam used Armor Lumiere. That was like the first time Armor Lumiere was ever used, was Hyperion.
Okay. Marita's development of detailed scenarios versus Fukuda. Okay.
Part 2, featuring Murasawa. Oh, this should be fun.
Okay, so the episode was about stopping the Archangel's engines to avoid detection by Zaf, and then using inertial, yeah, navigation to reach Artemis. Never mind that spacecraft. Don't fire their engines constantly while moving. But anyway, wait, what?
Yeah, no, it means like when you use when spacecraft fire their engines, it's mainly to get them moving, but they're not constantly having them on all the time because it's space. Like you don't have to constantly fight gravity to keep moving.
Right, because you're drifting.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so Fukuda, but personally, when I watched it, I felt a little sad. I think I fixed it with the HD remaster, but I may not have fixed it very well. He laughs. Okay.
Oh well, I mean, I'm glad you were self-conscious about that, Fukuda. But trust me when I say that when it comes to the HD remastered, not all things were fixed in a good way. I'm looking at you, Nickel. Like that, I cannot believe they actually changed that scene when there was nothing wrong with it. Like they literally pulled a full-on who shot first, Han or Greedo with that moment. Like they turned Nickel's death into an accident when before it was a confirmed kill. Now they just made Nickel stumble into the frickin' blade of the Schwertgewehr, the sword strike's sword.
I agree because the first time when it was done to where like it was kind of like by instinct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Nickel like tried to stab the sword strike. The sword strike ducked, and then held his blade up, and then Nickel slammed into it. Now Nickel just tried to stab Kira, but Kira just kind of just walked backwards a little bit and kind of gently lifted the blade, and he just walked right into it as if it was an accident, which only further gives Kira a couple more Mary Sue points at that point, because now they're trying to make it look like it's not even his fault.
Are you thinking they were trying to like kind of make Kira look kind of like innocent, like building his morality? Because like the way I probably look at it is, it makes it look like Kira is like a killer, but then later like Fukuda probably like revision it because he's like, you know what, he's not really a killer, it's not really his instincts, so I'm gonna go ahead and retract that.
Exactly.
That's the way I look
didn't
at it.
have to.
Yeah, he didn't have to.
Yeah, the original scene was totally fine. It was nothing bad whatsoever about it. It was just a confirmed kill that Kira got, and apparently that was too much for that, so they had to freaking retcon that for no reason.
All right, well, let's keep going with Yoshino. Yoshino in a big operation, especially when a trap is necessary. For example, I remember Mr. Morita was drawing a plan of how to release missiles in advance by Natal's orders, yeah. And later activate them to detonate them. Activate them and detonate them.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like
that was like a tactic that they used where they fired missiles at like a certain point, but they kind of just lost target and just sat there. And then when they picked up heat signatures again, they started moving again. I remember. Yeah, missiles? That was during the Dominion though, if I remember correctly.
So it kind
That was
of
during. That was like
skipped.
later on, if I remember. If what I'm thinking of is what he's talking about, where he fired missiles in like one particular area and then reactivated them again and had them launch at a target from a different angle. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was with the Dominion, with in like the late episodes of Seed, where the Archangel and the Dominion were fighting each other.
Hmm.
But yeah, continue.
Okay. So where was I at? Let's see. Okay, trap. Marita says it was fun. That kind of thing. Fukuda says if there is no illustration, I don't understand because I watch the flow in a. Well, I'm sorry.
I
Because
watch
I
it in a
watch it in a
flow.
flow. Yeah. Okay. So Marita says in the beginning I used to draw illustrations, but as I started to get involved in the scenario, it became more and more tedious, and it became like I'll write this episode, so just write the dialogues.
Of course.
Okay.
That's not good.
That
Yeah,
is not good.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, that's not good at all. That's not good at all. It's like playing Pictionary, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, hey, here's a storyboard, but there's no script, so good luck.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
dumping it on him right there.
it's like basically what he's saying is here's a scene, caption this. Basically, like you ever seen the
Right.
caption this? Yeah. So
Exactly.
it says here that Yoshino says, didn't you make pieces and move them around on the board? Marita says, yes, there was. In the early days, I don't know how to adjust.
I didn't know how to
I
adjust.
didn't know how to adjust.
Interesting.
Okay, Fukuda says, it was very detailed. Marita says, we even made a model and set up the coordinates for the orientation from the spacecraft. Okay.
I'm
Yo-
starting to like in my head. I'm like picturing them like having almost like a tabletop game set up with the way they're describing it,
That's the way
like how they set up these like battles and all that.
like in the army, whenever we would go out, like in in the woods, go out in the
Right.
field, we would use to find sticks and rocks, like whatever was
Right.
around us, and we will make like a map on the floor and say, "Okay, guys, this is us. This is where we need to be at." It kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Right. Although it's very odd to use that kind of thing when it comes to anime.
Yeah, so it makes me. Dude, I'll be real with you. I think I would like to see that just to see
Yeah, I
like
honestly would like it if there was like some behind the scenes like video or something of that happening. I would love to see that. That sounds genuinely interesting to see. But
okay.
yeah, you can continue.
So Fukuda says it was okay. Let's
Very
see.
detailed.
Very detailed. So spacecraft Yoshino. So I felt that Maria-san and I were both slightly excited to be in charge of the Gundam setting, and we were overdoing it. We were doing a lot of things.
Oh yeah, you could
Yeah,
say that again.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you guys were having a little Warhammer thing going on in y'all's office. Fukuda, she might have said it different, but Morisawa-san was relentless in cutting off anything that didn't flow or didn't fit in the flow of the story. Laughs.
Gonna press X to doubt on that one because like I mean I think what that translates to is anything that went against her narrative,
Right.
because that is especially true on Destiny, because like again, Shin and Kagali's voice actors, the Japanese ones in particular, both called her out to her face for the way that she was handling Kagali and Shin, and she chewed them both the hell out, and Fukuda simped for her and white knighted on her behalf. And as a result of that, Kagali's voice actor quit voice acting Kagali for 8 whole years straight, only to eventually finally get over it and come back again later on. I think the first time she came back was SD Gundam G Generation Wars on the PS2. It's either that or G Generation World on the Wii, but yeah, it took like several years for her to get over that grudge. And Shin's voice actor, oh my god, Kenichi Suzumura, I feel so bad for what happened with him. He was treated like absolute crap, not just from from the Seed development team, like from the way that he questioned their handling of Shin, but also everyone from what I've also heard and seen for all over the years regarding like how he was treated for that. Even the people of Japan treated him like crap because they just hated Shin that much,
And
which is really sad to hear,
it
honestly.
is. It's kind of like unfair. Think about like the I don't know if you know about it, but do you remember Jar Jar Binks? Well, obviously, you know Jar Jar Binks is, but
Oh,
the
I'm
voice
well
actor.
aware. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
kind
one,
of like that
like,
scenario.
he got so much crap for just playing Jar Jar Binks to the point where, if I remember correctly, he was suicidal at one point because
Oh,
of it.
dude, yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was
He
so sad.
Yeah, he was openly talking about that too because people were giving him death threats. They thought he ruined Star Wars.
Yeah, which
Obviously, it
is
wasn't his
not true.
fault. He was just look. Let's be real. Let's be real. If anybody would give you a project to take, like, especially a Star Wars project, you want to consider taking it. It's not your fault. It's just a job. It is,
It is just
and
a job at
yeah,
that
it is
point.
just a
Yeah,
job. Yeah, so and it's
because
kind
I
of
mean,
sad.
and what's funny though is that Kenichi Suzumura got the last laugh because he voiced Shin in Super Robot Wars Z, which he is on record for saying that he believes that Shin Asuka in Super Robot Wars Z is the true Shin Asuka, and is like the true character arc for Shin. And hilariously enough, Mitsuo Fukuda can't stand Super Robot Wars Z. He freaking hates it because he thinks that it was disrespectful and not like what's the word for it? It was like disrespectful and like not genuine towards him and his wife's work. Which, to that I say, stay mad, Fukuda, because it's better than what you both came up with by a long shot.
Yeah, I'll be truthful, and so that way you guys are hearing it too. I really do enjoy the Shin character. I just really think halfway through he got the Shin end of the stick.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Like Shin basically started out as more or less Camille 2.0, but from episode 28 onward, that's where Shin's character started to take a bad turn, especially once Shin gets the Destiny Gundam. The moment that he gets that Gundam is where everything just starts going horribly wrong
yeah,
with his character. That's like that because they like I said in one of my videos, is that they rolled out the red carpet for him to switch sides and for him to realize that he was being played, that he was being manipulated this entire time, and that everything he's been told from Durandal was a lie, and he threw all that away and just became Durandal's mindless ass slave. That just became a drone. He didn't even try to think for himself anymore
I really want to
at
know who
all.
called the. I really want to know who called the shot on that. Was
Yeah,
it like
I
officially? Was it
legitimately,
Fukuda? Was it more? His wife was alive at the time, right?
I would
Morisawa?
probably say it was a mix of Fukuda and Morisawa, because Morisawa was the writer and Fukuda just basically simped for her at that point.
Right. Huh. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe either that or the studio, because like I know I always keep saying the studio, but it's just whenever the first time like you went on as a guest, whenever you, me, and CJ at the time was
Hmm.
going through this, I could see like where the studio was stepping in and say, hey, we need to find a way to sell more, busters. We need to do this. We need to do that. So
Right.
maybe I don't know, but
Yeah, because that's also if I remember correctly, that also
excuse me.
yeah, no problem. But yeah, if I remember correctly, that also had something to do with the Strike Rouge as well, like to help get increased sales of the Strike at the time. And so they started making the Strike Rouge, which apparently we just recently learned was supposed to be for Flay Ulster originally, which
Mm,
would have which actually, considering the Rouge's color scheme, I think that would have made a little more sense.
yeah.
But anyway, let's continue.
Okay. Let's see. Just pulling it back up. Spacecraft, more sour. Okay, the flow of the story. I think we end up with okay. This is Marita. I think we ended up with a good balance. I think there must be some. I think there must be some difference between cutting a scenario with a certain setting and writing the scenario without any setting at all.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
the problem with that is that with Seed, you kind of just took Gundam 0079 and you just started playing around with it. That's the problem with that. You didn't write, you didn't really start from scratch with your own unique one. You kind of just took an existing one and just kind of started fanficking it. Let's be real here.
Yeah, it is kind of like a what you call it, like a fan
It's a
canon in their
bootleg.
head.
Hey, Radic.
Hey.
Bootleg it is. Okay, so let's see. Not saying at all, and Fukuda's agreeing with him, saying yes, that's right. That's the way it was. Okay.
Yeah, now this next part about Andrew Waltfeld, I honestly had no idea about, but
Okay.
yeah, this is interesting nonetheless. Apparently, Andrew Waltfeld was literally named after Morita,
What?
but in a very strange way. But yeah, you're gonna see. Watch.
Can you imagine, like, hey babe, I named you after.
But yeah, like just
She
watch.
he probably, like, man, she wears pants in the family. So okay, so Andrew Waltfeld wasn't just created by Marita. He literally named him after his own name. Okay. Also, Waltfeld has an interesting background before joining the military. Okay.
Which we are told here and not told like in Seed itself, which is a very common thing from what we've seen in past interviews with certain characters.
Yeah.
Especially the druggies. That one in particular pissed me off.
Yeah, same. All right, so Marita and Yashino, you were in charge of writing the scripts for each episode. Marita was like, I did not originally join the project as a scriptwriter. Wait, what? Okay, I gotta see this.
I didn't see that coming, but go
yeah,
on.
I didn't see that coming. We were a little short on staff and wondered if there was anyone who could write a script. So I raised my hand and said, well, I'll write it. I wasn't working on the script, though I wasn't a kid at the gate, but I knew the format. And I had all the settings in my head, so they said I could write it. The first script I worked on was the burning clouds of sand.
Yeah, that was one of the earlier episodes where Waltfeld first appeared.
So Marita-san and Yashino, you were in charge of the writing of the scripts of each. Oh, I'm sorry, I just reread that.
Yeah, that's
in which Waltfeld made an appearance. I thought I could present Waltfeld as an officer on the side of the coordinators in a way that was different from the characters that had appeared in the previous Gundam episode, and that is what I remember most vaguely. Okay.
But let's be real here, though, Marita. The problem with that is that you basically just made Waltfeld into a not Ramba Ral, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, let's be real. Like, if you said your goal was to try and make him like, you make Waltfeld as an officer on the side of the coordinators that was different. Which, yeah, I mean, he was different. He definitely stood out from the others, but he wasn't exactly the most original character per se. He was just your own, like, Fukuda and Morisawa's take on Ramba Ral. Let's be real here. But go on. Okay. Yoshino was, I think you were up to.
Yeah, Yoshino said Waltfeld was Marita too. Marita in German laughs.
In German.
In German.
Yeah, he was Morita in German. Yeah, and there's a little. They explain that the kanji for Morita, they see it on screen. It can be translated /divided in German as Wald, the word forest, and Feld, which is field. But yeah,
that's interesting.
That is a very interesting thing. Yeah. I got to admit.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of kind of like that a little bit because she basically used the idea of or I'm sorry, Marita. It's a guy, right?
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, Marita.
Yeah, Marita. Yeah. So Marita was basically, he used his name as the idea. He's like, what does my name mean in German? Waltfeld. Oh, okay, I like that. Honestly, it's kind of good because most writers will look around and find inspiration and things. So I kind of like that. That's just my take on that. Mm-hmm. Although I would have never named them after my wife or anything. Just
well, obviously, yeah, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Though if I wouldn't put it past Fukuda to do that, because legitimately the amount he simped for Morisawa was ridiculous. I would definitely not put it past him to want to do that. Like if we actually got a character in Gundam Seed Freedom named after Morisawa, it would not surprise me one bit. Like as like a tribute to her after her
but
death.
That's kind of a little bit meta if you think about it, right?
I mean, maybe you can kind of say that. Like
hey, I just named this character after me.
Yeah, but let's be real
But
here. At that point, you're kind of just tooting your own horn.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
But
oh,
yeah, I do believe we were up to Morita, right
yeah,
below where we were talking about the kanji of it.
yeah. So Marita said, I played around with it a little bit. It is not mentioned in the film and is not written in the setting, but the social structure of the world of Zaf was was such so that there were no genuine military people in the world. Wolfroad used to be an advertising agent. Okay, and taught.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I like that. And taught marketing theory at a university, and became an officer from the standpoint of information strategy. In the middle of the project, Zaf had a lot of. I'm trying to go all the way back. Military people who had been trained up, but in the beginning we still had a lot of energy, so we tried to include people with unusual backgrounds. Which I'll be real with you, man. Being in the military, yeah, that's true. You will meet a lot of people with unusual backgrounds.
Yeah,
So
because I mean,
Waltfeld,
my question now is why is this never told to us or shown in the anime? Because that legitimately sounds interesting. Plus, the fact that Waltfeld worked in advertising explains a lot about
about
how
his
he managed
attitude.
it. No, that explains a lot about how about the whole yogurt sauce chili sauce scene where he went into such detail about why yogurt sauce was better than chili sauce, even though I personally disagree with that. But yeah, like that explains a lot about that scene in particular, if you
I
ask me.
I think it kind of adds like more character, more human development to him in a way.
Exactly. We
Yeah,
should have had that in the anime. Why are we being told that outside of it? That's
it's the
stupid. Like it's
it's the
like I
little
rip
things.
Destiny a new asshole over that all the time.
Oh
But yeah,
well.
go on.
So it says here that Wolfrow's love of coffee is also influenced by Morisawa's son. Is it?
Narita,
Morisa,
actually.
Marita. I'm sorry, Marita. Isn't it? Marita said that was a hobby of mine. Yeah, mine too.
Okay, so
Mine too.
Marita also loved coffee as well. He was a hobby of his, and it transferred over to Waltfeld. All right, fair enough, I guess.
Okay.
Mild self-insertion going on there. But this next part legitimately made my blood boil when I
I
read it the first time.
I caught the glimpse of what it said about the green, but
The yellow part. This part
yellow. Yeah.
legitimately made me but it legitimately burnt my bridges. But yeah, and I guarantee it's gonna piss everyone off in chat too. But go on.
Oh, Chad, just remember I'm just reading it to you guys. Don't get pissed at me. So
No, you're
audience don't
fine.
really care about the technical background.
That is a flat out
Flat,
lie.
yeah, no. You'd
What
be
did this man just
surprised.
say? What did
That
this
is
man just say?
What
They
did this man just say? Exactly. Audiences don't really care about the technical background. That is a
that is
bold-faced lie. The overwhelming majority of Gundam fans that I talk to all the time in the fandom, not just in the West, but also in Southeast Asia as well. All of them love the technical background, the tech lore aspect of Gundam. They think that's one of the things, the defining things about Gundam. And yet they're about to try and convince us that apparently most people don't give a damn about
I
that,
think
which is
it makes sense. It honestly makes 1,000 more percent like makes sense. Because think about it. Really, just think about it. Lula Flaga again shot, blown up to oblivion, shows up in Destiny. All right.
oh
Yeah, we
god.
don't get into the technicalities of that. All right. Kira happened to shut off his reactor right before the Freedom blew up, and causing the
Yeah,
small reactor to blow up.
like I
Um,
said, well that's it. Well, I no, the technical background, what they mean by that is primarily the tech lore
yeah, I know.
surrounding it. But again, like that isn't tech lore. That's just straight up ass pulling right there.
All right,
That
all right. So here's my take on that.
go on.
I
Yeah,
don't care technically if this whole movie fails.
I mean, I don't think anyone does. But yeah, like at most at this point, with how much we've delved into the mind of Mitsuo Fukuda, we can only hope and pray at this point that that Seed Freedom is at best mediocre.
hey,
That's like at most we can wish for.
Wacky, didn't the last one cover the budget? The first one
I
we ever
do
went through?
yeah, like the first interview, yeah, we talked about it was talking about budget. I think it was like 25 million yen or something like that on like one particular thing. I think it might have been the music, which explains a lot.
I mean, it
Because
does. They do got good
that's
music.
like the best thing about the Cosmic Era is the amazing soundtrack. It was god tier, one of the best in Gundam, easily.
Now, I'll be real with you. The when it comes to production, sound is definitely the selling point. You could have a shitty quality video, but if you have good sound, people will still watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Seed and Destiny's recycled animation is so bad it's meme worthy, but Japan is still madly in love with Seed and Destiny despite that. Because like again, the soundtrack of Seed and Destiny like sells like hotcakes all the time.
That's why.
But yeah, let's get into like what they mean by audiences don't really care about technical background. Go on.
All right. So it says there that Fukuda. What I still don't understand is how the Archangel can go into space if it shoots the Lohengrin.
Okay, Fukuda. Oh my God!
It is the scene where they escape from orb into space.
Yeah, I'm
in
well
Phase
aware.
40.
It was that's in that scene. I remember that scene vividly. So basically, it's after they launched and they got launched from the what's it called?
The mass
From
driver.
The mass driver, right? And they fired the Lohengrins into the air. And I think the science behind that was that after they fired the Lohengrins, it more or less like evaporated all of the like gases in the air to make like almost like a vacuum, and basically accelerated them massively into the sky. That's what I think was going on.
Or just cut the wind resistant.
Yeah, cutting all the wind resistance and all the gases out of the way to create like a vacuum area like section to accelerate them massively. But then there was just keep reading. It gets even more cringe.
Now, Wacky, you're making an excuse for him. Don't give him that. I mean, then again, I've been doing that, but it's my itch.
Yeah, that's my autism trying to connect the dots here, as it always does. Okay, let's be real here.
All right, so
doesn't give him excuses.
Yeah, Morita. I don't know how it happened either. Laughs Fukuda.
Even Morita doesn't know what the hell's going on.
I mean, yeah, because Morita wasn't even the writer. I mean, originally wasn't even the hire. They were like, "Hey, we're short-staffed, but we need a writer."
I was like, "Dog, you gotta be kidding me! You guys are the ones that wrote this crap, and even you don't like. Why would you make that a scene if you didn't even know how it works? What is wrong with you guys?"
They literally sat in the room to like, "Hey, would it be cool if this right here would happen?" Yeah, but how do we explain it? Who cares? It's just, would it be cool? Yeah.
Yeah. And then what does Fukuda say after that?
All right, so Fukuda says, I thought that was new, but I had no idea. I have no idea what logic is.
He didn't. Oh my God, Fukuda, you're freaking killing me here.
I'm about to bright side that man.
Fukuda, what the hell, man? Even I thought that was new, but I have no idea what the logic is either. Okay. So what? You just threw that into the freaking fray just for the sake of doing it, not even thinking it through about how if it even made sense or anything like that.
I sort of felt like they were running on a time crunch, and they needed like an excuse.
Yeah, trust me, it gets worse though. Keep reading what Morita.
Morita said it was a setting that made my conscience prickled when I wrote it. Okay, Fukuda said, but knowing what. But no one ever really pushed that point, did they?
Oh okay. My! Keep going,
Morita. One thing I learned is that the audience doesn't care as much as we care.
That is a bold-faced lie. Shut up, Morita. We care twice as much as you guys, apparently, considering that you guys didn't even give a damn about this scene to begin with, from what I'm reading. Like, you guys just kind of just whipped this scene up just randomly, like, and you didn't even know where you're even freaking going with it. You kind of just said, oh, okay, let's have the Archangel launch from the mass driver and fire the Lohengrins because reasons. What was the logic? I don't know. Just do it anyway. Why not? That's what I'm freaking getting here. Like, what is going on? Yeah. What is even happening here?
I'm pretty sure Disney would like to hire these guys.
Yeah, for the next Star Wars movie, which is never gonna happen.
So, oh man, honestly, that's kind of like
scary, isn't it?
No, just kind of low key pissed me off a little bit because I'm really big because the point of this is that yes, you want to get your story out there. Yes, But at the same time, you're in charge of something. I guess at the time it's like what, like maybe 30 something, no, like 20 something years that Gundam was around at the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was well, what, like when Seed came around?
Yeah.
Well, Gundam was originally started in 1979, so that would mean.
Well, I mean,
It's been a while. Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a while.
yeah. So the point is like, there's a reason why, like, at least up until a few years ago, I don't know what it is now. Don't quote me on this, but a few years ago, Gundam, in terms of franchise, was bigger than Batman. Think about that.
In Japan, yeah.
No, worldwide.
I don't know. That seems like
That's
that seems
no.
a little
It was
bold.
it was the top franchise.
Hmm.
It was the top franchise. The top 15 franchises in the world
Right.
was Gundam, which there's a lot of franchises out there. So to me, being the top 15, I think it's pretty good. But there's a reason why it got up there. Period. Tomino pretty much, I want to say he stuck to his guns, but he got his story across one way or another, and people like it.
Yeah.
You're
Definitely.
just telling me that you don't, like I said, this is really like that statement, what, that was put down there really did piss me off a little bit. I'm trying to stay calm with this coffee. So you're pretty much saying like, you don't care about the fandom. You don't care about, what made Gundam great in the beginning. And you wonder why people make memes about Seed. People say shit about Seed, yes, I think Seed could have done better if it would have had like a different writer, maybe.
Absolutely. I think everyone can agree with that.
Yeah. So, I think the universe is interesting. I think that, it just went off course. And now this tells me why it went off course. Yes, I do think if Fukuda, he's the one who's running the project. Yeah, obviously
exactly.
he's, whatever the writer goes, whatever the writer gives to him, he approves it. So what it tells me is this. Okay, so you don't care about the logic. You don't care about what, the fandom, likes about Gundam. It's like Star Wars, Disney literally said, I don't care what what the fandom likes, you're going to like what we put out.
Right,
and we don't care what makes Star Wars, we're here to make IP. This is
but
just
it
an
gets
IP.
worse though. That's the thing. Keep reading the last two lines Fukuda and Morita say. Yeah,
So,
like Fukuda's like, oh, you mean to think that? Oh, is that so?
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that you
Fukuda
think,
could be
"Oh, is that
talking
so?"
because the script goes through him. He approves it.
Yeah, he's the director.
He's the director. So, I mean, if he doesn't get that from that writing, then he shouldn't be directing at all. And that is a bold statement I'm saying right there. But
yeah.
Okay, I'll keep
I
going.
agree.
Yeah, just a little rant.
Now we're on Morita, the final one by Morita on that one.
So my big lesson is that although people are impressed by the setting, they are not moved by it. I wonder why. I am a strange person, so I moved. I'm a strange person, so I am moved by the setting. But ordinary people are not.
That is a crock of BS, Morita. You are not seriously saying that.
Okay. They are impressed, but they are not moved. No,
that is blatantly false. Blatantly. Like, Morita, you are talking out of your ass right now. I'm sorry. Like, come on. There are so many settings in fiction that I am deeply moved by. Like, what are you talking about? There's tons of settings in fiction that people are deeply attached to. Like, Gundam is one of them. Warhammer 40k is another one. Macross is another one with me. Getter Robo, Gurren Lagann, Mazinger. There's tons of them out there. I can keep going on and on and on. But of course, more ordinary people are not moved by it. Are you kidding me, bro? Let's be real here. Come on. You can't possibly be seriously saying that.
I mean, you just pretty much shit on 20 years. I mean, I don't know, probably 20, 30 I'm going to say around that range of, well, no, about 20 odd something years at the time, because Turn A was like,
yeah, it's
20?
over 20 years. Like, yeah. Gundam has been, by the time C was out, yeah, it's been over 20 years Gundam's been around.
So you pretty much just said, you know what? Gundam's been around for over 20 years at the time. We don't care what makes it, great for the last like 20 years. We're just going to shit on it. That's what's pretty much like what I got out of it. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to rant for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, this is the final part of page 2 out of 3.
Okay. So Morita said, when someone said to me, the launch scene of the Archangel in Destiny is like Yamato. Okay. I said, you son of a bitch. Haven't you seen the launch scene off of MJH? Laughs. Young people don't understand. The roots of the director and myself are in. Okay. Works and Tokuyasu.
Yes, yeah, Subaraya. That's what you were
Subaraya.
talking. Yeah,
Okay.
Subaraya works and Tokusatsu, which again I explained. Tokusatsu is like the genre that like Godzilla, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Power Rangers. That's the genre that those shows are consistent with. They're called Tokusatsu.
Yeah. So Marita said, or Fukuda said, yes, yes. Marita, like Thunderbirds, it's not cartoons for my generation.
Oh my god, I have not heard that name in a long time.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Oh, I feel old as hell right now.
Yeah.
Damn, man. In Thunderbirds, I vaguely remember that from the 90s, but wow, has it been a while. Damn, I feel old. But yeah, it's interesting that apparently the Archangel's launch scene, like when it finally goes back into service again from Orb. That's interesting that Mighty Jack was the one that was the inspiration of that. I was not expecting that, because Mighty Jack is a very old franchise, like from like the late 60s, that eventually got that, from what I understand, was like is as they say was based off like what Thunderbirds picked up off, because like it's interesting that they picked Mighty Jack in particular to reference that. But yeah, let's continue to page 3, assuming dad life isn't getting in the way this time.
No, we could do page 3.
All right, sure. Because I know there's a section on page 3 that's going to really piss people off in regards to
I'm already pissed off.
No, I'm talking about like a particular section of the Seed fandom. The ones that care deeply about Kira and Kigali in particular. This is going to piss people off quite a bit when they hear. Every time I show this section to people, it polarizes them greatly because of it.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. So, making the project of actual kudos since oh yeah, that I know what they're talking about.
You're still. I mean, on my screen, you're still on page 2 on.
Oh,
Discord.
that's right. Yeah.
What do you have to
no
switch?
Oh,
screen?
that's right. Yeah, I gotta switch the screen. I forgot I was.
You had your screen up on Discord on my end.
Yeah. So where are you at? Right here.
There we go.
Is that the right one?
That is indeed, yes, it is the right one.
Okay, just want to confirm. All right, so Marita said, "What episode is your favorite?" To Yoshino. Yoshino said, "If you say it that way, the most important part of the cavalry is wait, what? Oh,
yeah, the most important part of the cavalry is the descending sword, which is episode 35.
Yep. Isn't it? I will never forget the story of the appearance of the Freedom. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was the Freedom. That was the Freedom's debut. I think that was.
Yep. And it said here, when I started working with young people, they told me I really like the part where Freedom appears in the descending sword, and I told them, "Oh, I wrote that," and they say, "What? Oh, I'm really grateful for that." Okay. That's it. Oh, also, when I was given the opportunity to write Phase 3 Collapse and Land for the first time, I wrote Mobile Suit Gundam on the cover of the, okay, shivered a little, like, I'm writing a Gundam scenario. When I first saw the proposal, it was called Gundam Saga.
Saga.
Saga, my bad. Gundam Saga.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Let me zoom in a little bit. Or something like that, yeah. Let me go over here.
And then what is Fukuda's response to that?
He said, yes, that's right. I've been thinking about that to title it. But the producer, Forsawa, said, just call it
Kido Senshi, which means mobile suit or mobile warrior in Japan.
Mobile suit, mobile warrior. Oh, that's cool.
Something like that. Yeah, because in Japan, because Gundam in Japan is called Kido Senshi Gundam, whereas in the West it's called Mobile Suit Gundam. So that's just what it translates to.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, right here. That was iconic. I thought the story was the same as Mobile Suit Gundam. And laughs. What the fuck?
Oh my god, bro. Fukuda, you're trolling me right now. There's no way you're not, because you literally took episode 1 of 0079 and you split it across 3 episodes, which with worse pacing. You cannot be freaking serious with that joke, bro. You can, bro. Oh my god.
What joke? What did he say?
No, like they were talking about episode 3 of Seed, and they were like, "Oh, I thought, like, how are you aware of this fact? Like, oh, it looks almost like Mobile Suit Gundam," and I was like, "Hello."
God bless you.
That wasn't a sneeze. That was I don't know if it played right, but that was supposed to be the bright slap.
Oh. It sounded like a sneeze.
Yeah, that sounded like a sneeze because of how freaking quiet it was. But go on.
Yeah, so Yoshino said, to what extent were you aware of this? How aware were you of the fact that you were following the Mobile Suit Gundam?
How aware were you that you were ripping off 0079?
Okay, yeah, basically what they told him. Fukuda, Morisawa-san said, it's Gundam. It's a Gundam, so it should be a Gundam. We were talking, well, of course, we were talking about how we'll get angry if they title the series Gundam and then release Evangelion. Evangelion, yeah. Right. I thought that. Oh God.
Yep.
I thought that since it was a Gundam, there would be no problem at all in using Gundam techniques and storytelling.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yep.
That's what I would have said. That's what I would say to that is thank you, Captain Obvious. But go on.
Yep. I was convinced that even if I made it the same as Mobile Suit Gundam, it wouldn't be the same. Would it be the same?
It would be the same.
Yeah, I couldn't make a Gundam, so I decided not to worry about that. So the way that I got is that, yes, so obviously a Gundam should be a Gundam, right? That's the way he's getting. But he's also finding inspiration off the original series and say, oh, so this is what made Gundam Gundam. You know, the fact that this kid got into a mobile suit and then the colony collapsed. So basically, he's trying to copy the formula.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Like Seed is basically just The Force Awakens 0079.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It's basically him saying, I have no originality, look at me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wanted to try and take 0079 and recreate it in his own image, which, again, Kathleen Kennedy intensifies, but I digress.
Yep. So Marita said, when we were discussing the subtitle of Phase 2, I was probably the one who said, its name, Gundam, meaning that no matter what the audience thinks of its creator, if their creator says it, it is already Gundam. That's what I meant.
To that, I would say, yeah, well, first finish. What are you saying first?
Yep. I think the reason why they did that was because they were all in a panic. How can it be recognized as a Gundam? Well,
I think, why for some reason, like, the way that he worded that, I don't know why, but I feel oddly, I feel like my intelligence just got insulted just now, as if they're trying to think that people are too stupid not to recognize what a Gundam looks like at this point.
That's
like how
what,
long? Yeah, go on.
No, that's what I got out of it too.
Yeah, because like Gundam has been around for over 20 years. I think people at this point would know exactly what a Gundam looks like. I don't think we need to be told it's a Gundam to be like in such a blatant way like that. I think we all recognize what Gundams are. Hell, I mean, even Morisawa in her adorable little frickin' description of Gundam. Oh, it's a mecha anime with red, white, and yellow robots in it. I think
the way I look, this is what I got out of it was, okay, so we got this machine, okay, all right, it has the V-fins, all right, go on, okay, and it has the 2 eyes, all right, and then what, okay, so what are you trying to say? Well, we don't know if people are going to recognize it as a Gundam. Well, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh my god!
Like, it's like they. Okay, who said that? Was it Fukuda? No, it wasn't Fukuda. It was Fukuda. No, wait, no, Fukuda was quoting somebody.
Yeah, well, Morisawa was the one that said the whole red, white, blue, and yellow robot diatribe.
Right. But Morisawa said, so does she not know what Gundam? No. Okay, so this is the thing. About writers and creators and I'm just going to say Hollywood in general.
Right.
A lot of them will literally treat their audience as stupid idiots.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
So like a lot of them would literally like, okay, for example, in horror movies, I don't know if you guys notice this formula, but there's always a study scene. Am I right? Have you guys
Roughly,
noticed
yeah.
most of them? Where they go either to a library or they jump onto the computer and they go on Google. I'm just going to, they start typing in it like, what? Who is this ghost with long hair and black dress? Enter. Oh, okay. And they'll give you the whole history because rather than go along with the main character through his adventures or whatever and learning with him as he goes, he goes in one area and learns everything right there. It's to me, it's not really so exciting. It's not as fun. But the way I got it right here is like, hey, we need to explain to our fans that this is a Gundam. All right, they're going to be too dumb to know what a Gundam is. So let's go ahead and put acronyms on there. You know what? That fucking explains it. That really fucking explains it even more. I'm sorry, dude, but Wacky, you.
This is you see now why
yes.
Now you see why I say that reading Fukuda interviews makes people alcoholics. Like,
I'm so glad I'm not reading this right now.
well, you're still hearing it. That's the thing. You're indirectly reading it just from listening.
It's just a really offensive. I don't want to put it that way, but it's really damning to the fan. It's insulting. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
No. That first word was pretty good too. Don't insult yourself.
No.
But yeah, like legit. This is what Fukuda interviews does to people. Like it causes their brain cells to jump in front of trains en masse.
My brain cells did that when I watched Seed.
Well, I mean that's you. I mean, I'm numb to Seed at this point. I just treat it as comedy.
Also, bro, I have to agree with that too. What Carl just said. I think the acronyms kind of confuse people more. Yeah, kind of.
So now we're up to Murasawa developed the drama at the end, which would explain a lot. But go on.
Oh, okay. I'm opening the wrong one. All right, so we're discussing phase 2. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Marita,
finished that one. It's up to the next part.
Okay, so like where it says Fukuda.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, Murasawa developed the drama at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
So Fukuda said she liked the previews a lot, didn't she? Yoshino said, yes, that's right. And in terms of the number of episodes I wrote, it would be the last episode. I remember that I made it while discussing it with Morisawa-san. Morisawa called me and we talked on the phone for 2 or 3 hours. Holy hell. Wait.
Well, yeah, go on with it. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. No, okay. So Fukuda said, I think it must have been very difficult back then. Yes, there was not a lot of time. I could see that the drama would definitely heat up here. Even though I wrote it based on Morisawa-san's plot, as in the scene where Maru and Norel shot it.
Yeah,
Nataro shot each other in phase 49, the final light. I made it so that all the previous relationships between the two would be neatly resolved. Moreover, goes.
Moo. Yeah, that's the like English way of saying moo. MWU. I don't know why,
really?
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like my dyslexia was kicking in. By the way, I do have dyslexia,
so
that really didn't help.
Like sometimes the same with Rao. Like Rao Le Creuset's first name in the West it's spelled RAU, while in English it would be RAWW. It's some interviews translated as that. It's weird.
I'm sorry, but as soon as you said that on their first part, I just pictured a cow inside of a mobile armor that they had in there. What was it called? Mobius's?
What, the Mobius Zero?
Yeah, all I pictured was a cow driving that.
Move. Okay, so Missing and Azrael shoots Nataro. I was very excited when I was writing the story. I think Morisawa-san had already decided long before that Nataro and her friends would shoot each other. Okay.
I mean, yet to be fair, that is what was alluded to when the two of them like went their separate ways at Alaska, and got like Nataro got transferred over to a different like section of the military from where the Archangel was, and then the Archangel ended up deserting, and now Nataro got her own Archangel class, the Dominion. So yeah, that I could see where they were coming from with that.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I need to see because they somewhat what I remember, it kind of had like a conflict between each other.
Yeah.
Nataro, the way I see Nataro, she was like a rule follower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like she was lawful good.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
at least, yeah, she tried to be as lawful good as possible. Like she like adhered to orders, and only towards the end where did she finally start to realize yeah, this crap is BS, and I'm gonna do me. And that's when she rebelled against Azrael. But she definitely tried her best to adhere to the authority of the Earth Alliance. But when things got way too ridiculous, that's where her conscience basically said enough is enough. Like she objected to Azrael multiple times, like when he was on the ship and everything. And even so the cracks were already starting to show. Like Nataro legitimately, I think, should have been the captain of the Archangel, not Maru, because Maru Ramius I legitimately can't stand as a character. But like Nataro Badgeril is such a better captain than Maru. Like the way she handled the Dominion was very well up until the end.
I see her more logical. I see her like a more logical character.
Yeah, her tactics were very well executed. And we get to see them in action when she has no one like telling her what not to do. Like multiple times she wanted to do multiple different types of like tactics, and Maru cockblocked her. Though admittedly, I could see why she cockblocked her one time where Nataro wanted to use the Lohengrin in the desert, and I was like, girl, you're about to use an antimatter weapon in a desert. That would trigger an antimatter explosion. Do you have any idea how much collateral that would do? Calm down a bit,
be
bro.
a lot of
Let's
glass,
be real
I
here.
tell you that.
Yeah, that is the one time where I agree with Ramius when she said no to that one, but I just could not stand it when Ramius would constantly get in the way of Nataro's job and say, if you don't like it, then go write it in your report.
Well, Maru wasn't supposed to be the captain of the ship, though, right?
Yeah, she wasn't. But again, like Nataro, even though yes, she was ensign in terms of rank, the background she came with was far more experienced at being an officer than Ramius was. Ramius, yeah, she had a higher rank, but her experience as a like commanding officer was like half the amount of like Mu and Nataro. That's the problem there.
Well, sounds like the actual military.
Right?
Yeah, sounds like the actual military. So Fukuda says, maybe since I have been drawn a conflict structure since phase 13. Okay, so
I think that episode is when Maru and Nataro started butting heads for the first time, like majorly. So yeah, I could see where Fukuda was coming from with that one. Now this next section right here, oh boy! Every time I tell this to Cosmic Era fans, this section of this interview, a lot of them seem to get very annoyed and upset at this, like that this wasn't that at the way that this was handled with Kira and Kigali. But yeah, this section here is apparently making Kira and Kigali twins was Fukuda's idea.
Hey, wait,
but the way it was ridiculous, to the point where even Murasawa looked at Fukuda and like, what the hell did you just say? But yeah, just watch. Just watch. You can start reading.
Okay. Sorry. So yeah, I'm sorry, I was doing something. All right, so Yoshino says, making Kira and Kigali twin brothers was Fukuda's idea, plus a slight comment on...
Well, I would say twins, not twin brothers, unless you're implying that Kigali was supposed to be a boy, but I highly doubt that. Yeah.
Okay, so Yoshino said, yes, I wanted to ask the director once. When the director mentioned that Kira and Kigali were actually twins, Murasawa-san was surprised. What?
Yeah, apparently Murasawa didn't have anything to do with that at first. That was all Fukuda, but go on.
Okay. Fukuda said, yeah, that's probably true. What do you mean probably?
What do you mean probably?
when I saw the video of Phase 1, False Peace, and saw Kigali, with their hat blown off, I thought they might be brothers, laughs. How do you not
wait a minute.
How do you not
Fukuda,
know?
how did you not know?
What
are you talking about? It's your you're directing the damn thing. Didn't you talk with Murasawa about this?
Not
But
even
go on.
that, but you have to approve the damn script. Like, you have to read the script. Okay,
Yeah,
anyways.
like what is going on here? What did Yoshino say after that?
Yoshino in the beginning, there was no such setup at all. Yeah, I was in
We could
place.
tell. We
Yeah.
could tell.
I was in place with Fukuda-san beside me. I remember saying while watching the Phase 1 video, Kigali comes out like a heroine. Okay.
Okay, and then Yoshino.
Yoshino, one day, Mr. Fukuda suddenly said, I have a thought. I think Kira and Kigali are twins. Everyone, including Morisawa-san, was like, what?
Even Morisawa-san looked at him and he was like, "What did this dude just say?"
Well, my thing is this. When he said, I think. So during, well, obviously he said what, like after the first video, he immediately changed the whole setup. Okay, all right. Fukuda, indeed there was. Rita said, I was told she looks like him, but nope, it's because Hari-san drew it.
Yo, hold up. Did they seriously just freaking left hand Hirai Hasashi with that one? Oh my god, Doug, you're the one who hired him. Hirai Hasashi is notorious for having for his art style being so trash. I'm gonna flat out say it. Yes, like he is notorious for him constantly drawing the same faces over and over again on all the characters he draws. He is notorious for that, and yet you're now freaking making fun of him for that, despite you willingly hiring him for it. And what's even funnier, they hired him again for Seed Freedom. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Oh, they did. Well, it's because it's they kind of like look at it as like, you know, if it's like a, how would I put it? If somebody really likes him as an artist, you'd be surprised like how many people will be like, oh yeah, this guy right here is on the whatever. It just makes it easier for the next production to, you know, have the same people, so they could make the same formula. So, which in this case, yeah, they're going to make everybody look alike again.
Yeah, because again, that's what happens when you hire Hirai Hasashi. Your characters are gonna all have the exact same faces, very similar hairstyles to each other, and their body anatomy is gonna be very weird. Although, admittedly, in Seed Freedom, it seems Hirai Hasashi has a new tactic where he gives everyone fat lips for some reason. Yes. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that's weird. But we weren't quite done with the Kigali part. Yeah, there's more under that.
So it says here that because true. Yoshino was like, wait, Maria's son starts laughing because so Yoshino kind of knew what
Maria was saying. Wait, hold up, bro, don't freaking talk crap about her.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Like I know what you're trying to say. Maria was like, it's all a matter of consequence. Ooh. But I knew that if the scriptwriters were surprised, the audience would be even more surprised. Yeah, sure.
Well, the problem with that is that you're basically pulling a Luke and Leia at that point. Let's be real here.
Well, not only that, but like now you have to backtrace and be like, okay, so now we have to fit in the script. So usually whenever you start production, usually you have everything all set up. Mind you, listen, like when it comes to Gundam Seed Freedom, yes, there was almost over around 150 drafts.
Seed Freedom over 100 drafts. We don't know exactly the amount, but over 100, at least 100.
Things like this is the reason why.
Yeah, it's crap like that.
Like think about F91. So F91 only went through 4 drafts. And roughly. the first draft was way different.
Oh yeah, because remember, F91 was supposed to be a 50-episode long anime series that Bandai forced Tomino to make into just one movie. So basically, he was resorted to compiling like one movie that composed of like 13 episodes of anime worth of content crammed into there. Like he knew it was going to be rough, but he tried the best he could in that regard.
Yeah, but when I was reading, because I was telling you I was researching into it, right. They didn't have no idea what to make out of it. They didn't know there was going to be a movie or a show until Sunrise told them like, hey, because of the deadlines, we have to make it a show because of the time crunch. Or I'm sorry, a movie, my bad. Because of the time crunch, yeah. because of the time crunch, they're like, hey, we know that we couldn't get to you guys ahead of time for a movie or a show, but we're going to go ahead and do a movie because it's going to be a little quicker. But you guys only have this much time. So they were rushed. So, anyways, let me go ahead and keep going. But yeah, this is the damn reason why. Like, it has so many damn drafts. All right, so
exactly. So now we have Mirialia had 2 major differences in development, making her cuter and getting her a boyfriend, which funny enough didn't go anywhere.
Oh my god. Yeah, here it says here that
and Fukuda doesn't remember when or if the switch for Athram was going to happen.
The switch.
Why am I not surprised?
Okay, I gotta read this. So Fukuda, there was quite a few things we changed when the characters came up. Moralia was originally intended by Morsawa to be the girls in Sam.
That is oddly specific.
That is very oddly specific. Almost
Zambot 3 is like nothing like Gundam. That's a dark as hell post-apocalyptic super robot mecha anime written by Tomino, by the way. And yeah, like, go on.
Okay, so it says here that almost like a mob background character. She wasn't very cute, but when I saw Mr. Harash characters,
Mr. Harai,
sorry, but she was very cute. Laughs. I thought Kira would fall in love with her, so I decided to give her a boyfriend.
As we all now know, was Diarca Elsman, which again that never went anywhere. Like he got dumped off screen.
Yeah, and I think that was only because, like, again, it was to sell the Buster, try to give Diarca more character.
Yeah, because that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, that whole relationship with Mirialia and Diarca, that was pure, unadulterated Stockholm syndrome at that point. Let's be real here.
It was kind of forced. I think it was kind of forced.
It was very forced. Like they barely had any chemistry with each other, and it was all Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. But go on. Yoshino, I do believe, follows up.
Yeah, so Yoshino said, Fukuda, one more question. In the original proposal, Kira and Atherin were supposed to fight for their lives in the end, right? When did that change to Atherin becoming one of Kira and his friends? Wait, what? And Atherin becoming one of Kira and his friends? Okay, I see.
Basically, he was asking, they were originally supposed to fight each other for their lives at the end. So what changed to where Atherin sided with Kira?
Yeah, for the 3-ship alliance, and okay, yeah. Or Fukuda says, I wonder when.
Oh my god.
I felt like he gave Sunrise like the idea, and they liked the idea because it probably revolved around, like, again, 9/11. When they were talking about 9/11, I think they used that as the selling point.
Yeah, but legit, like, he doesn't even remember. He doesn't even know. He's like, oh, Fukuda, when did it change where Kira and Atherin, like, became on the same side with the 3-ship alliance? He responds, I wonder when. I don't know.
You tell me.
What do you mean you don't know? Oh. What the hell do you mean, Fukuda?
I didn't come into work.
The director.
I didn't come to work that day.
Oh my god, you're the freaking director, Fukuda. You cannot be serious.
I feel like Morisawa was also like kind of trusted her to pretty much like do like kind of like his like assistant director or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, he was a director but part-time.
Right.
Oh my
part-time.
God, Fukuda, you are so freaking incompetent.
I feel like he was like the assistant director, but he had somebody else calling the shots.
Yes, and now we're finally at the end of the interview of the second art book of the 30th anniversary of Seed, 20th, excuse me, and where they just discussed some writers table shenanigans going on, which at this point I would be refilling my can of beer, but go on.
All right. Okay, Marita. There were many times when the direction of a story had been decided on during the reading. Okay, that's kind of normal.
That seems normal.
Yeah, but when the directors came into the reading in the following week, the whole table was turned upside down. What the fuck? Saying we're going to change that part. When I told Morisawa about this, she said Fukuda came down from the second floor of the house to the kitchen and said he wanted to change. Let me go back. He wanted to change that part,
part.
and the table was suddenly turned upside down. What the fuck?
This sounds to me like that, like there was a lot of conflict of interests going on, like that, like, oh, let's change this, but then not too long after that, oh, let's change that too. Then and it just flips everything.
I
Go
feel
on.
that's why I feel like they weren't very too decisive on their whole story. Like I said, I think they pitched it to Sunrise because look, a lot of corporations, let's for example Netflix, you only have 7 minutes to explain your story. Mind you, that's also like talking about like that's also taking questions. So you really only have 2 minutes to explain your story, right? And then you have the other 5 to answer questions. So
Exactly.
so that to me, like I said, I can't believe I'm trying to excuse them. I'm not, really, I'm not. But I think like they hurry up and thought of a world and an idea, and they hurry up and told Sunrise this, and turn around. They're like, hey, so that was a nice pitch, but you do got the script, right? What do you mean? I thought you got the script. Ah, shit.
Exactly. I will be right back just a moment, but yeah, you can keep talking. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and keep reading. I'll let you guys want to wait for Wacky. It's up to you guys. What do you guys want to do? Yeah, I'll go ahead and wait for him. But yeah, guys, this is kind of like I was talking about with F91. F91 only went through like 4 drafts. The first one being way different than what we've seen on screen. Yeah, first cross one. Yeah, basically, yeah. Continue. Basically, yeah. Yeah, Bra 69. They just came up with the idea and they rushed it to gifts. Oh, yeah, no, I'll just read some comments. I'll wait for Wacky. They just came with the idea and they rushed it to give it something at least that sounds like, yeah, that's what I'm getting at too. Because I know when it comes to Netflix, what they would do is whenever you come in, they'll give you about 7 minutes to pitch.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. Yeah, so when it comes to Netflix, they come in and they'll give you about 7 minutes to pitch. So really, you have about 2. You give them a very small summary, like a few sentences, and then you spend like the next few minutes like answering questions, like how does this work? How did that work? But yeah, I was telling chat. I was just talking to the chat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So
Yeah.
where were you at?
Okay, so Marita was saying, I thought, okay, right here.
Yeah.
I thought, well, since the reading was going on in the house, it must have changed. On one of the worst occasions, the storyline was changed in the car on the way up to the reading.
Okay, that's a bizarre place to change the story drastically.
Did Fukuda have any other prior experience before this, or this is his first?
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't his first anime. He's directed others like Cyber Formula GPX. Like that's another one that he made before
I felt like he just didn't understand Gundam. Okay, so Yoshino said
he didn't. When it comes to Gundam, yeah, Fukuda absolutely. This was his first Gundam anime he ever directed.
Yeah, it just felt like he kind of like used the title. That makes sense. So, like use it as like his resume, saying like, "Oh man, you made Gundam. You made one of a Gundam series." Like, yeah, dude. Like put it part of the resume. So
right.
Yoshino Morisawa said the hardest part for her was the ride home from the meeting. That's when she said that she started talking about this and that and laughs. Fukuda. Actually, I don't remember what we talked about there. I guess I just let out what was inside of me, so I don't think of it left much of an impression on me. I remember Kigali and Kira as twins. I don't remember why I said I would try not to kill Kira. Okay. Morisawa.
Okay.
Okay. That was, but nobody mentioned. Okay, so Morisawa liked the hard development more than I do. I didn't like animations that killed people so much.
Well, that explains what you did with frickin'. That explains the whole nickel thing. That explains that. Wow. But wait a minute. Hold on. You said you didn't like animations that kill people so much? Then why the hell were you so graphic with frickin' Alaska and Genesis? Because like, seeing people pop like freaking balloons in a bloody mess. That's
I think
a lot of
Sunrise.
death right there.
I think Sunrise told him like, hey, you know, we really need a big battle or something, and they pretty much
That,
said
and
no, said no more.
I remember in the 2003 November interview, they also, the TV producer at the time says, be as graphic as possible. Don't hold anything back. I remember that as well.
I think that's where they probably why they did that. So I think there was a conflict there. Her
Yeah,
style,
I do too.
yeah, I do too. Yeah, was built up to the plot with hard drama, but I was a bit more entertainment oriented. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
think you were entertainment oriented for all the wrong reasons, Fukuda. That's the problem here.
I think he focused on the drama aspect while she focused more on the because he's saying like there's no logic. You know, his favorite character is Flay. I think he's the one who did more of the like scenarios, like what was going on in the background, like Kira and Flay and all that stuff. And
Right.
I think Morisawa was pretty much more like what was going on in the battle scenes. And,
Yeah, so it seems seems something like that.
something like
But
that, yeah, or Maria too.
but yeah, we finally managed to get through the entire interview. Like
Somehow.
it took 3 streams, but thankfully Dad Life didn't get in the way this time.
I had to tune it out because I was getting so much space cancer.
Trust me, we don't blame you.
Yeah, the producers was base. Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I did talk to some people that we would talk about
But
the freedom picture, but I'll be real with you guys.
yeah, we still gotta vet that a little bit more.
Yeah.
We still have to vet the authenticity of that to see if it actually. Because here's the thing, like we recently found a little sketch on a recent stream involving Fukuda, Morito, Yoshino, and Kunio Okawara. Basically chilling in like this one particular like Gundam cafe area, and they were all reminiscing about like things that like happened during the development of Seed, and allegedly during that stream there was one particular sketch that Okawara brought up that was supposedly supposed to be of the new Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed Freedom, but as of right now, I'm still trying to authenticate that as being legit or not. But if we get any more developments on that sketch to confirm it or not, then we will definitely get back to you on that one, because I myself am actually very curious about it too. Because the sketch itself, it seems like it could have just been a early sketch of the X1OA Freedom, but the more I look at it, the more I realize, yeah, that doesn't look anything like the original, the X1OA Freedom. Like the wings are too big, the shoulders are different and all that, and the shield is a totally different thing. But it's a very, very rough sketch, and I want to at least authenticate if it's supposed to be just an early sketch of the X1OA Freedom, or if it really is the new Freedom from Seed Freedom coming soon.
God, doesn't have feathers.
Well, I'm hoping not, because if so, then that would be freaking hilarious for all the wrong reasons. Considering that we already have a suit in Seed that has quote-unquote feathers, and it's plagiarizing Razafon. Literally, it's the Gundam Astray Gold Frame Amaterasu, and it's one of the funniest Astray frame. I think it is the funniest Astray frame I've ever seen, because if you look up Gundam Astray Gold Frame Amaterasu, it's literally like borderline plagiarizing the super robot mecha known as Razafon. And like if you put the two side by side, it is very obvious what they were looking at when they were designing that. So
do you think we should either way show the sketch?
We could show the sketch if you want.
I don't see any harm in it.
Like, keep in mind this sketch is unconfirmed to be if it's just like a sketch of the X1OA Freedom at the time, or if it was or if it really is the new Freedom in Seed Liberty. Not Seed Liberty, Seed Freedom, excuse me.
I like Seed Liberty better. That sounds better.
Honestly, yeah, that would be it. That does sound like a better name for the movie. But
Seed Liberty? Huh.
Gundam Seed Liberty, yeah, I could see that as a better name. And wow, Minuteman, I did not realize you took my Xenoforce videos to heart that much.
This is
It's
it
been
right
so
here.
long.
Honestly, I think it was what my theory. I think it was just a prototype of the Freedom, like before, like
Like a rough sketch of the X1OA.
yeah,
Wait, people still play Xenoforce?
Are you freaking kidding me? Like, okay, I want to clarify something on stream for all y'all to hear. But yeah, we'll discuss that in a minute when take a look at more of this sketch. But as you can see, like this is allegedly the sketch that people are saying is a concept of the new Freedom from Seed Freedom, the movie coming up. But I personally think that it's that this doesn't appear to be the case. I think that this is probably just an early design of the X1OA Freedom because he brought it up when he was talking about the X1OA Freedom itself. But I don't know. It seems only time will tell. Like if we get more like info about it, or if another trailer pops up, because now Seed Freedom has a release date for it. Like it actually has a solid release date, which is January of next year, which is like 6 months away from that now. So the end of the road is in sight at this point after 2 decades. So yeah, only time will tell if this has any merit to it being the new Freedom Gundam. But until then, we're gonna have to see about it.
yep.
And yeah, Gojira, it kind of does look a little like the Twin Buster rifle in his hand, but it seems a little bit thinner to me, but that's just me.
But yeah, well, alrighty. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream right here. You know, because obviously I like to spend time with my daughters.
Before you do,
Yeah.
to get back to what I was telling about with Xenoforce in the chat,
Yeah.
I want to point this out really quick to any of you who play Command and Conquer Generals and have played the Xenoforce mod, which
Amazing.
I have played on my defunct gaming channel. I'm actually trying to like rebalance that mod completely and potentially put a new version of it out, because that mod in its current state is an unbalanced mess. And upon playing it again recently, I was like, "Yo, what the hell, bro? We cannot leave this mod in this disastrous state it is in. I have to at least rebalance it."
I mean, you could just play Xenoforce too.
Well, Xenoforce Reborn, but yeah, like Xenoforce Reborn is for Command and Conquer 3, not Generals. That's first and foremost. Second of all, even despite that, Xenoforce Reborn is an entirely different beast on its own. Like you can't really compare it to Xenoforce 1.5 on Command and Conquer Generals, because the two play completely differently and they both have different like Gundam entries present. And if I remember correctly, Xenoforce 1.5 I don't think has Xenoforce Reborn doesn't have Macross, where 1.5 does. So yeah. So we're gonna have to see.
To break it to you, but I just compared it. What you gonna do about it?
No, I'm not gonna do nothing. You're right. But be that as it may, to anyone who does play Xenoforce and really enjoyed it, keep an eye on the ModDB page of that, and also keep in touch with me about it in the DMs, because I've been privately testing a couple of things with a friend or two of mine regarding rebalancing that mod, and it's been fun.
Oh, nice.
When you haven't been talking to us about this?
Well, because this is my personal project, that's why.
Yeah. Well, alrighty. Well, we're going to have to end it here. But alrighty, guys, if you can, if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. The subscribe button's right down there. Also leave a like and also comment, guys. I always read everybody's comments and try my best to respond when I can. But yeah, thank you, Wacky, for joining, and everybody else who's also watched this live and hear me rant.
I take no responsibility for the amount of brain cells that died today.
Yeah. Go ahead and say that. But alrighty, guys. My fellow engineers, have a good night, and yeah. Goodbye.
We'll see you guys later. Peace.
See you guys later. Peace.
See you later.
All right, that was good. Yeah.
That was very good.
Yeah.
We finally got through it.